Hi guys, welcome back to the
The most famous reindeer of all.
Charles.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we have a total of 31 books to show you. This is a span of a couple of months, mostly like this past month. If you see me distracted at all, my boyfriend's behind the camera and being a weirdo, so don't mind it. So yeah, let's get right into this video because I know it's going to be a long video and I'm really excited to show you guys. Okay, so I'm going to get into the current read that I have right now, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This is my current read and it is by Sarah J. Maas. I'm about 93% done with this book, so I'm going to be finishing it within like a day. My thoughts on this would be, was it too hyped up? I would maybe say so, because throughout the book it's kind of boring and then the end is where it like actually gets me. I like the book overall though, like I definitely want to read the other books in the series, but it just was like a little slow and then the ending's just kind of a lot. Okay, my next book is from Book of the Month, and this is All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham. I can't get over this. This is the cover of All the Dangerous Things, and this book is really interesting. Like, I'm not going to read the synopsis of any of these books so you know, but this book is really interesting. I think it's kind of like about this mother who, her toddler is missing and she never sleeps, and like, apparently after I read this book I'm not going to be able to sleep either. Next up we have two books, one of which I've already finished. This is the Dreamland Billionaire series. This is the first book. This is the fine print and it's about Rowan and Sahara. I finished this book really quickly. I zoomed right through this book and I can't wait for the final offer, which is the third book. But let's talk about the second book, which I have is Terms and Conditions. This one's about Declan and Iris. This one I'm super excited to read as well, but people say this is similar to the fine print. We'll see about that. This is a book that I'm planning on reading either in December or January so that I can be ready for the third book coming out. Speaking of another series, we have Ali Hazelwood, The Love Hypothesis, and Love on the Brain. There's also a third one coming out soon. I'm really excited. Her series is kind of like Strong Women in STEM. This one's Love Hypothesis. This is the first one. I think this one's a fake dating trope. Love on the Brain is a enemies to lovers trope. So the next book we have is Five Total Strangers. This is by Natalie D. Richards. This is like kind of one of my winter reads. This one is really interesting. It's basically like she accepts this ride because she can't get home for the holidays because there's a blizzard and something happens. I don't know what. I can't wait to finish this book soon. I don't know if this is going to be my next read or like my read after, but I definitely want to read this in like the winter seasons because it's very winter-esque. So here is the cover. Then we have There's Something About Mary. I think this cover alone is the cutest thing in the world. This is about Mary Winters, and she's going to need a whole lot of Christmas cheer to make up for like crappy year she had before. This is a 403 pages. I feel like it's a decently long book for like a Christmas book, but I guess we'll see if I like it or not. So the next book we have is Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. I've heard nothing but great things about this book and I can't wait to read it. I think it's a really great love story and one that will make your heart melt, I think. So can't wait to read it, and I think Christina Lauren's going to be one of my favorite authors after Lauren Asher because some of the other book concepts she has I think are really cool. So yeah. The next book I actually got today, which is The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. I don't know much about this one, but I do know it sounds interesting to me off of the synopsis because I made my boyfriend read it. So for another video, I'm going to probably read this and then go ahead and watch the movie, compare it, see if it's just as good as the book. Next book we have is Love in the Time of a Serial Killer. This is like a rom-com book. She basically is in love with murder mysteries, and then she finds out, she thinks that her neighbor next door is actually a murderer, so she's spying on him, and then I think they fall in love somewhere in between there. So yeah, I think this was cute and I love the cover a lot. I'm excited to read this book. This is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. His mistress is dead and his wife is his only hope. Then we have a book that I'm actually literally dying over. Like, I want to read this so bad. This is Hooked. It's a retelling. It's part of the Never After series. There's 2 other books in the series. I am so excited. he wants revenge, but he wants her more. It's basically about Hooked and Wendy. It's like them today rather than them being like the cartoon and stuff. I'm excited to read this. That's all I can say. Then we have The 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton. This is a Thickums book. My boyfriend read the synopsis and I was really interested in it. So yeah, you basically wake up in a different character's body every day and you try to find out who murdered Evelyn Hardcastle. Then we have a book that I was eyeballing for a while before I actually picked it up. I saw it in the buy one get 50% off section of Barnes & Noble, and this is The Paper Girl of Paris. I really think I love historical reads, so I want to try it out, see if I love it. This concept sounds really cool. You switch from now and then. You go from like a 16-year-old girl to like Adeline, who is wanting to do something about the Nazis, I believe. Then we have How to Stop Time by Matt Haig, or Haig, I'm not sure. But this is a really interesting read. I've never heard anyone talk about this book. It's basically about a guy who's a history teacher who actually has been through all of the times that he is teaching about, and he's part of this like secretive group, and there's one rule that he must follow, and that is he cannot fall in love. But then this French teacher comes about and rocks his world, I guess. Then we have book 1 of the Twisted series. This is Twisted Love. I've heard nothing but great things about this series. I asked for the 3 other books in this series, so hopefully I get it for Christmas, but it says right here, he has a heart of ice, but for her he'd burn the world. Found this TikTok, it was great. I saved it for you.
Excuse me.
I'm sorry, do you act like that?
I just ignore them.
Next we have All the Feels by Olivia Dade. I saw this in a book haul of someone's and I just wanted to read it, so I went ahead and found it at my Barnes & Noble, and yeah. So I think the love story is he's a really bad guy, she's a therapist, he starts going to her for therapy, and then they fall in love.
What are you doing to your books?
If
I pick them up in the like a slightly weird way, you freak out, but then you throw them and
I didn't throw them.
You just did.
This is a postcards from summer. This book is, the only reason why I picked it up is because it literally had my name in it. So nothing else to be said about this book. Then we have one of my favorite book series ever. I read this when I was a kid and I wanted to own my own copy of it. That is the Divergent series by Veronica Roth. I want to read her new book that came out. I think it's like A Girl in Pieces or something. But this book and this movie, I love it. Then we have, obviously, the book number 2, Insurgent, Allegiance, and 4. We have The Song of Achilles. I bought this over the summer and I decided those in there because I didn't really buy much books between summer and now, so needs a place. And I have 2 hardcovers that I got over the summer as well, along with The Song of Achilles. This was Blood Sugar. This was the book I chose to read for my summer novel for women in literature. She's accused of 4 murders, but she's only guilty of 1. She's only guilty of 3, and the 1 murder that she's not accused of is her husband. And then I have The Self-Made Widow, which I didn't read, but this is my other choice. If I didn't like Blood Sugar, I was going to do this one. So I still want to read this somehow, but all my other books are kind of, like the ones I've gotten this past month are ones I want to read first. Then I got Pride and Prejudice from my half-price bookstore for like $5. And then I also have Pride and Premeditation, which I had to read for English as well. I thought these were cool ones. I haven't read Pride and Prejudice yet. I did watch the movie and I loved it. Then we have a really cool edition of The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I want to read this book and then do the Hulu thing and make a video on it, so I'll show you guys, but I thought this was a really cool edition. This was like $12. And then along with that, in my women in literature class, we are learning about like Mary Shelley and like strong women in our history, and she wrote Frankenstein, so I wanted to give it a try. And then my boyfriend's mom for my birthday got me 2 books. I thought I would add them in the haul for my last books, which is Dreamland by Nicholas Sparks. I've never read a book by him, but I heard he's a great author. And then I got My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I'm freaking excited to read this one. I want to read this one so bad. So yeah, that was my book haul. Thank you so much for watching. If you think I have a problem with books, you need to get checked. It's not me, it's you. And yeah, So thank you for watching today's video. Bye bye.